Greetings, I'm Professor Hobo, and welcome to another HOBOTECH News product review. You guys have seen this in the background of several of my videos for the past few months and been asking me what it is. It's the brand new JACKERY Explorer 300 portable power station, aka
solar generator.
It launches today, September 1st, 2020. Now the JACKERY Explorer 300 replaces the very long in the tooth JACKERY Explorer 240. It comes with new features such as Mppt solar charging, a power delivery port, a quick charge port, and it charges 3 times faster than its old dinosaur of a predecessor. But does the 300 power through the competition, or does it just fall flat? Let's find out. So what comes in the box? You get the typical JACKERY paperwork, which includes the manual. You get the bag of goodies, which includes the power cable for AC and the AC brick for charging from wall or generator, and their branded 12-volt car adapter. So you plug this into 12-volt and this into the JACKERY to charge from a car. So let's check out this manual, which is very small. It does tell you here that it has a low and high temperature alarm, so you can use the JACKERY between 14 and 104 Fahrenheit, and if you try to use it outside this range, it's possible the 300 may stop working. Gives you some typical charge times, tells you how to recharge it, talks about the warranty and the specifications. And that's all she wrote. Features of the new JACKERY 300 include a 293 watt-hour lithium-ion NMC technology lithium battery rated for 500 cycles to 80% capacity. Now what does that mean? That means you can charge and discharge 500 times before the battery capacity automatically is at 80%. It doesn't mean you have to throw it away or get rid of it. It just means you lose the top 20% of the battery capacity. Size and weight. This is only 9 by 5 by 8 at a measly 7 pounds. Now as for build quality on the 300, it's a very compact package. It's all plastic. It does have these silicone feet at the bottom and a very rugged built-in handle, just like all other JACKERY products. As for the display, it has the typical JACKERY high-quality display that shows percentage of charge, 5-segment battery icon, and input and output wattage. As for the inverter type, this has a 300-watt pure sine inverter with a 500-watt peak and now includes 2 3-prong outlets. Now one of the newest features is the built-in Mppt solar controller. That means this thing will charge 3 times faster than the original JACKERY 240 that only has the basic PWM controller. Now there are 3 ways to charge the Explorer 300. That is by AC wall outlet or generator, 12 or 24 volt car input, or, of course, solar. Otherwise, they could call it a solar generator. Now, the claimed charge times for each one of these methods, 4 to 4.5 hours for AC wall outlet, 5 to 5.5 hours from solar, or 4 to 5 hours from 12-volt car charger. However, I found out in my testing, you can get this thing to charge in as little as 3 hours if you have the right kind of solar setup. I'll show you that in a little bit. As for 12-volt outputs, you have the single 12-volt cigarette lighter output, which is rated at 13.3 volts, and it is a regulated output. That means no matter how much you charge or discharge the battery, you always get 13.3 volts out of this. That's important if you're going to run something like a portable refrigerator or a CPAP machine that requires to have a specific voltage. Now, the cigarette lighter port is only rated at 10 amps, but we were able to pull a little bit more out of it in our testing. There are 3 USB output types: a regular USB-A port, a 60-watt power delivery port, which is impressive, and an 18-watt quick charge port. So you have all USB port types covered. And in case you don't already know, JACKERY is based in California and they offer a 2-year warranty. So if you have any issues, you can just contact JACKERY. They have a very good customer support team and very good service. And of course, I took the 300 into my secret laboratory where I performed various experiments on it. That first experiment is the battery capacity test, where we determine exactly how much power can you get out of one of these. Final result for the Jackery Explorer 300, 277 watt hours, 21.6 amp hours, 2 hours, 38 minutes total discharge time. As you can see from the results, we got a very impressive 277 watt hours out of 293, or a whopping 95% out of this. That essentially means that you're getting what you pay for. You're getting 95% of the battery out of this, where others you might get 70, 75, 80, 85%. Maybe if you're lucky. 95%, that's definitely industry leading. And this is the DC output rate check. Now the voltage on the Jackery Explorer 300 is regulated at 13.3 volts. So let's see what it can take. Okay, we're pulling an impressive 12 amps from the cigarette lighter port. Let's see if we can keep going. Well, this is unprecedented for a Jackery. We're pulling 13 amps, 150 watts. Okay, that seems to be it. As soon as we pass that 13 amp threshold, the voltage drops to the dirt. As you can see, we got a very impressive 13 amps or 150 watts out of this cigarette lighter port. That's also a new record for Jackery, as one of the things I had issues with Jackery in the past is running air compressors with the regulated 12 volt. I'm pretty sure this one will have no problem doing that. Now for the pure sine wave check under load. As you can see here, we have a pure sine wave under no load. So let's go ahead and add some load. And when I mean load, we're going to use the solar degenerator to throw some load on the 300 and see if the sine wave changes. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the switch and see what we get. As you can see, even under load, it still maintains 110 volts, 60 hertz. That's a sign of a good inverter. Now here's the interesting test, the max charge rate test. This is where we answer your questions about voltage, solar panels, and so forth by running a variable voltage charger into the Jackery. We start at the low voltages, around 10 volts, and we go all the way up until the thing shuts down. And this will let you guys know how fast will it charge depending on the voltage. How much voltage can it take from a solar panel? What's the minimum charge from my car it's going to require to charge up the Jackery? So let's answer those questions right now. We're at 10 volts, 11 volts, 12 volts. So exactly 12.0 volts. The Jackery 300 just charging at 38 watts. Let's keep turning it up. So at 13.6, 13.8, so around that neighborhood, we're already getting 82 watts input. So if your car is running, the engine's running, the battery's being charged in your car, truck, van, or RV, you can charge the 300 at 82 watts. This is almost double the rate of the Explorer 240. Let's take her up to 14.4, 14.6, and we're at 88 watts. So let's continue to go up to solar panel voltages, which start around 18. Now we're up to 111 watts. Let's take it up to a higher end solar panel around 22, 23 volts. We're now charging at 123 watts. So if you have one large solar panel you want to charge and use with this Jackery, and it puts out 23 VOC, you can charge it on an incredible 123 watts. Now this is a big deal for Jackery because they've never had any product this small charge this fast before. Let's take her up to 30 now. The maximum rate for the 300 is 30 volts. So there we are, we're at 30 volts, 125 watts. So I think we found our limit. We'll just keep going until it shuts down, but yep, there we go. As you can see, we got an impressive 125 watts from the range of 23 to 30 volts. That means if you put your solar panels in that range of 23 to 30 volts, you can actually cap this thing out at 125 watt charge rate. That means you can charge it in 3 hours. Now, it's not going to happen in every situation, but it is possible. This next test is the USB output rate check, where we test the power delivery ports. So I have the Explorer 300 plugged into this little tester unit, and this is going to the USB-C 60 watt power delivery port. I have this set to 20 volts, so it's taking 20 volts out of the Jackery at 3.3 amps. It's producing 62 watts out of that port, which passes with flying colors. As for the QC3 or quick charge port on the Jackery 300, it's the USB-A port, it supports 12 volts at 1.5 amps or 18 watts. And that's exactly what we're getting right now. 12 volts, 1.6 amps. Next is the inverter capacity test. Now for the final test of the JACKERY 300 using the solar degenerator. Now, the JACKERY 300 has a 300 watt inverter. So let's test and see how much power we can push through it before it shuts down. I've learned to do this test last in case I blow it out. Now here goes nothing. Watch the wattage meter as I turn up the heat. Right now it's no heat. Okay, we're at 160 watts. 200. All right, it shut down before it even hit the 300 on the display. I don't think it likes high. Let's do that again. This time we're going to do it on low. Low fan. All right, it is not liking the heat gun. Since the JACKERY doesn't like the solar degenerator, I've come up with another test. We're going to use this radiant heater. It's a halogen heater. On low, it's 300 watts. On high, it's 600 watts. So we're going to start that. It should run just fine on the JACKERY because this does have a 300 watt inverter. And if that's not enough, we can run the hairdryer on it. And if that's too much, we can actually charge the 160, which does 42 watts. So I should be able to give you guys a pretty good idea of what this inverter can do on this JACKERY 300. There we are, heater on low. As you can see there, we're doing 310 watts. That sounds about right. Let's go ahead and add the hair dryer without any heat, just the fan on low. Okay, we just hit 400 watts. Okay, so it doesn't like over 400 watts for very long. So what we're gonna do instead is we're gonna go ahead and charge, you see the 160 right behind it. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug the 160 in first, let it do its thing with the heater off. So it's coming through on here at 39 watts. Okay, let's go ahead and put this heater on low again and see what happens. 210, 260, 310, 360, 370, 372. Let's just let it sit here for a bit and see if it shuts down. There we go. So right around 360, 370, it gave up the ghost. So there are the results for the 300. As you can see, it has no problem putting out 300 watts, even a little bit more than 300 watts for a short period of time. For some reason, it didn't like the solar degenerator heat gun, but it was fine with the hair dryer and the electric heater. So as you can see, the inverter in this is actually quite good, and it should do the job for just about anything you need under 300 watts. Pass-through charging. Everybody wants to know, can you charge it while you use it? It's a JACKERY, which means of course you can. Let's prove it. You can see right now we're charging at 77 watts. I got the 12 volt output working. I have the USB working, and I have power to the solar degenerator. As you can clearly see, it has pass-through charging. Now these are the sky conditions today, so it is definitely cloudy. We're not getting perfect solar. We're hitting 89 watts there. You coming to help, huh? But then the sun went behind the clouds. So there we go. One 100 watt solar panel from JACKERY. You're guaranteed 87 watts on a clear day. So what do I like about the new 300? Well, first of all, JACKERY finally listened to all of us yelling and screaming over the past year, JACKERY, your power stations charge too darn slow, especially compared to the competition. Now this doesn't apply to Goal Zero because they're still ridiculously slow. But by far the best feature of the new 300 is the stupid fast Mppt charging, which I'm pretty sure they pulled out of the Explorer 1000 once they mastered that, because I see this working exactly like the 1000 does. So with the right solar panel setup at the right voltage, you can charge this thing in 3 hours, and that is awesome. Even at the claimed 5.5 hour rate on the JACKERY website, that still lets you charge this in 1 day, even in winter, in most of the world. And the addition of both quick charge and power delivery in their entry-level product is fantastic. Now, the power delivery port is output only. You cannot send power into it to charge the JACKERY. It is only output at 60 watts. I would really like to see them change that in the future models so that you can actually have more ways to charge this thing. It'd be great to be able to charge it from a power delivery port. So what don't I like about the new 300? Well, the JACKERY has a lot going for it and does pack a lot of punch in this little package. However, it can still be improved. One of the things I really dislike is this gaudy logo that they stamped on the top. Now, I think they're going to get rid of this eventually, but why do they put it in their new product, I'm not sure. It says really big up here, Power Outdoors. That confuses everybody. Why don't you have JACKERY 300 or JACKERY Explorer 300 on the front? That way people know what model it is, they know what they're looking at. It's unnecessarily confusing because if somebody doesn't know what brand this is and they're looking at it and it says Power Outdoors on it, what are they going to think? So unless you look at the tiny print on the bottom plate, which I can barely see, that's the only place on the product that says Explorer 300. And I pulled an experiment. I had this in the background of my videos for the last few months, and no one guessed what it is because it doesn't say on it anywhere what it is. Now, I had everyone fooled thinking this was a new JACKERY Explorer 500 or something like that because of the multiple outlets, and that should be a lesson. I also find it odd that the 240 and 300 were the only models in the JACKERY lineup that don't include some kind of light on it. Now, as much as I think most flashlights on solar generators are just gimmicky, putting a light on something this size actually kind of makes sense. They should consider adding a lantern maybe on the back or their little 1 LED flashlight on the side, but some kind of light on this would probably be cool, especially in something this small. But JACKERY should consider putting a lantern on the back like BLUETTI does on their smaller models, because I find that very handy and I use those all the time. Now, the last thing I don't really care that much for is how JACKERY is making their solar panels proprietary to JACKERY products. I think JACKERY is hurting themselves by playing the proprietary game because they don't offer an MC4 connector for this. So if you go to use a Renogy panel or some other third-party or generic solar panel on this, you can't do it unless you make your own adapter or you scour the whole internet trying to find an adapter, and good luck trying to find those, because usually once you find them, they sell out quickly because everybody wants an adapter for their JACKERY. JACKERY doesn't sell them, they don't provide them in any way, shape, or form. They certainly don't give them away. I think they should really offer that MC4 to 8mm adapter so people can use whatever solar panel they want and not be forced to play the HP and Sony game of proprietary products. All right, now I can already anticipate your first question, that is, Professor Hobo, how much? How much for the new JACKERY? Well, with the current code, now this is as of September 1st, 2020, I got a exclusive $50 off coupon to take this down to $2.99, so that's $1 per watt hour. This is only for HOBOTECH viewers, and this is only for a limited time. Now, what's the main competitor for the 300? Well, for size and features, you got the EcoFlow River, but that thing is just stupid expensive. You have the Boulder 330, which is very competitive to this, but it doesn't have 12-volt regulated output. The RockPals 300, it's kind of junky. It's also missing 12-volt regulated output. And the Minimalist RAV Power has a lot of the same features, but it's not very blingy, and it is a little bit less expensive than this. There's really nothing right now that has all the same features, the same battery size as the JACKERY Explorer 300. What about competition versus price? Now, the hot bang for the buck right now is the new BLUETTI AC50S, which has regulated 12-volt output, all the features and more of the JACKERY Explorer 300, including like wireless charging and the lantern feature. It is really awesome, and it is $50 more than this, even with my discount code. But the downside is the AC50S is currently out of stock until late October, early November, so there's really no point in going on about it. The upsell to the JACKERY 300 is that it is much lighter and a lot more portable than the AC50S. I could absolutely not do this with the AC50S. The handles would break off because it's so heavy and the handles are foldable. This is actually a lot more tossable and probably a little bit more durable than the BLUETTI. So who's the 300 really aimed at? Because it's a little bit bigger than their smallest version, and it's a lot smaller than their biggest version. Well, think about it this way. Jackery is like the Toyota of the solar generator market in regards that they provide a basic, reliable, quality product for the masses. Now, they may be behind in providing new features. The thing is, they're all about quality, safety, and stability, so they take their time with their products. Again, just like Toyota. And they do charge a premium for their products. You can easily find other power stations in the 300 watt-hour range cheaper than $300, but you do get what you pay for. Their products are some of the lightest yet most portable and pack the most punch in the smallest size on the market today. There's a heck of a lot of power and features built into this tiny little plastic box. And if you want the Toyota of solar generators, get yourself a Jackery. Now, what about recommended solar panels? I always get asked this question, what solar panel should I get with the power station I'm talking about? Well, I'm going to tell you, if you want the easiest, highest quality, most compact solar panel you can get, you're going to want to get the 100 watt Jackery Solar Saga solar panel. To go with this, it plugs right in. There's no adapters. It's just one cord. It folds out in literally 5 seconds. Puts out a lot of power for its size. But a lot of people are going to complain. That solar panel is $300 and it's never on sale. So yes, you do pay a premium for those panels. Now, yeah, you can go get a $49 solar panel on eBay that's honking this big. It weighs 30 or 40 pounds and it's made of glass, and you're probably going to drop it, break it, or have problems controlling it. And you know, there's all kinds of problems with these big glass solar panels where you might want a portable panel. What if you're backpacking? You're not going to carry a giant glass solar panel with you. You want something portable and lightweight. I get comments all the time, people complaining about how expensive Jackery and other portable folding solar panels are. They just don't understand that you're paying for the lightweight and portability of these panels. You're getting 100 watts and it's something this big that's very durable, and it's going to last you a very long time. So you're paying for portability. So yes, I do recommend you get the Jackery 100 watt solar panel with this if you want ease of use, portability, and you're not really worried that it costs $300. Now, you can use other solar panels, but you're going to have to find something that has an 8mm output, because that's the only thing that this provides is an 8mm input. And this does not come with any kind of adapter, so you're going to have to find something that works with the Jackery. And you also want to avoid the Dokyo panels or any kind of other solar panel that has a built-in solar controller, because while you can use them with a Jackery, you're going to have to do some hacking to get it to work. Now, the max VOC, or the highest voltage that a solar panel will put out, has to be under 30 volts in order for it to work with any Jackery product. Now, you can parallel panels up to 10 amps, and after 10 amps, the Jackery just won't take anymore. And in this case, the Jackery 300, it'll take up to 125 watts. Anything beyond that is just going to get lost. It's not going to hurt the Jackery if you put 300 watts of solar into it. In fact, I'd suggest putting as much solar as you can afford into it to charge it at its max rate. Just remember, the input itself is regulated to 125 watts maximum, 30 volts maximum. Now, if you're interested in the new Jackery Explorer 300, there is a link in the description of this video below, along with the unique promo code for HOBOTECH. That's also in the description. So you can get this for $2.99 for a very limited time. Like I said, I don't know how limited, they didn't tell me. But I'm going to have to guess one of two things are going to happen. It's either going to sell out in the next couple days, or they're going to pull the coupon code. That's what's happened in the past. That's probably what's going to happen now. And if it doesn't, I'd be surprised. So if you want to get one of these, you probably want to jump on the bandwagon pretty quickly. This is probably going to be the only deal they're going to offer for quite a while on this, because they usually don't like to put new products on sale very often. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something today. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up below. And if you're not a subscriber already, you know what to do. That's it for now. Till next time.
Odin commands you to like and subscribe, and clean my litter box.
Hey Odin, what do you think of the new Jackery 300? Oh, okay.
RV Golf Guy, Z Foxfire, Jack Smith.